Welcome back to Healthcare Sucks. Yeah, you could tell the tone in my voice. I mean, I just love it when the air's let out of us and we grab our ankles for fear of what's coming or not coming, our part of the stimulus. Well, we talked about that in the last video. So in this video, we're going to touch on what's going on and more of the stupid. Courts are closed, but they're making guys go in for testing, for daily testing and criminal stupid stuff. I mean, good God, just waive it for now. And if people go out and party a little or get in trouble with the law, as long as they're not drinking and driving, what the hell? I'm not saying I condone it, but, versus spreading it and then getting in that population, then say those guys do violate and they get thrown in jail, which they're letting people out of jail. So why the hell test anybody? Do you get my point? Stupid. Remember? Stupid. Here we go. We'll get there. It's, I think, right after this first story where they giving out money and relief in this state of Texas, I believe. Here we go.
For grants and zero-interest loans for struggling businesses.
The county says that's enough money to help at least 250 businesses. Garrett Berger talked with a gym owner who hopes her business will be one of them. Garrett?
Well, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
As we continue to weather the coronavirus crisis, Bexar County commissioners trying to lend a hand to local small businesses suffering because of COVID-19. This morning, they approved $5.25 million for grants and zero-interest loans for struggling businesses.
The county says that's enough money to help at least 250 businesses. Garrett Berger talked with a gym owner who hopes her business will be one of them. Garrett?
Well, the county commissioners say that the businesses could get loans of up to $25,000 or they could get grants of up to $5,000. This $5.25 million sum of money is meant to help businesses who have been struggling because of the pandemic and have lost money. Businesses like this gym we talked to on the northwest side. Precautions against COVID-19 up there have transformed the transformation station. Unable to operate because of government orders meant to halt the spread of the virus, owner Tabitha Ortega is worried whether her gym will survive. Membership cancellations have already started, and her instructors normally get paid by the class or lesson. While she's continued paying them for now, as the gym has tried to adapt with posting workouts online and holding private lessons over FaceTime. But she says ultimately paying the bills to keep the gym open has to take priority. But she said she could use the money Bexar County's providing to pay her 3 trainers a salary, both the part and full-time ones.
Myself, this is my full-time job. My other trainer, Leslie, this is her full-time job. So this is how we support our families and our livelihood. So it would just be able to give us that little cushion just until this is done.
Ortega said she plans to apply for the grant at least, and possibly the loan. So at the end of this, she still has her gym and her workforce. Now, the loans and grants will be administered by Lift Fund, a local loan provider that specializes in small business loans. We have information on how you can apply on our website, ksat.com. Just find this story. Live downtown, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Garrett. A troubling sight in these times of social distancing. Bexar County criminal court defendants in close proximity to one another while waiting to submit to drug screenings. As the defender's Dylan Collier reports, court officials provided an alternative, but were mostly ignored.
Just before noon on South Sabina Street, the daily crowd gathers. During this growing coronavirus pandemic, mandatory drug and alcohol screenings have continued for people on probation and those defendants assigned to submit tests by one of the county's specialty courts, raising concerns that the virus could be spread at one of these facilities. The people stacked up along Sabina Street comes at a time when the courthouse that heard their cases in the first place has become a veritable ghost town. The Justice Center remains nearly empty as jury trials have been postponed and dockets reduced to 5 defendants a day through at least the middle of next month. According to this March 19th memo provided to the defenders by County Court 11 Judge Tommy Stolhansky, defendants were given the option of moving from in-person tests to wearing a drug screening patch. Stolhansky told us today very few people chose the patch option. What's resulted is a concerning sight for anyone who's paid attention to the CDC's recommendations on gatherings of people. A spokeswoman for Recovery Monitoring Services, the company that operates.
Which, real quick on that patch thing, I've heard some really strange things about it, guys. I mean, good or bad, let me know what you think. That's fine. But the point is they could just waive them. But, they're not going to do it right now. And it's really, again, the dumb. It's really strange. The more and more they want to push people together. Even the president tonight was like, it's going to be all done by Easter. And don't worry, everything's good here. And, we'll all be sipping the same old Kool-Aid together at McDonald's. And I'll buy everybody lunch. Except for the homeless, the disabled, the seniors, and the mentally ill, and the average Joes that I'm talking about. They can all go eat out of the garbage can because they're deplorables. Sorry, I'm still not quite over that. Getting screwed yet. I don't know when I'll be over that. But I want to bring you something else that I was digging on tonight. And I don't know if you guys got this or caught this, but we actually had a heck of a big earthquake out there. And here we go. Let's listen to this. I covered it on the send out message part.
An earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 6.6 has struck far east of Russia. The quake was measured at a depth of about 33 kilometers in the Bering Sea, just off the eastern coast of Kamchatka. The Sakhalin Tsunami Monitoring Center has issued a warning of possible waves of up to 1.5 meters.
Yeah, while everything else is going on, that's the other thing I do. I covered earthquakes if you've been with me for a while. We used the Fair Use Act and nothing to see here. Hocus pocus, boogie boogie boogie, and all that stuff. If you're new, this is Healthcare Sucks. Welcome to the show, where we try to bring you what's going on, and we don't candy coat it too much here. I do feel for the people that stress and have illnesses and stuff, and I try to give them a leeway and, try to tell them you're part of the Team 99 now. You're going to get through this, which we are together. But candy coating doesn't really help anybody, guys. After all, they candy coated, if you remember right. Oh, it's not going to ever come to America. They've candy coated the numbers forever. They've lied about it being how many days, and then it's like 7 days, 14, now it's 30 days. It can be contagious. On surfaces, up to 2 weeks, we've heard, minimum a week. And then the greatest one of all, it's airborne. No, it's not. Yes, it is. We weren't stupid. We knew, guys. I mean, hell. I mean, when they start acting all itchy and stupid, like Squiggly Guy, if you don't know who Squiggly Guy, it's that weird little... I try not to say that word, but I'm going to say it one more time. Nazi-looking guy on the Trump team, Squiggly Guy, Allergy Man, whatever the hell he is. I don't know where that guy came from. I researched that guy, and the more I research him, the more I don't trust him. I'm telling you, throughout this whole thing, he's came out, and just like now, he's been on the opposite side of the president at times, and then he pulls it back, and they're like buddies. It's almost like wrestling. Hey, before we go out, let's get all hyped, man. Let's have a beer together. Oh, and then they go out and they're all like, yeah, I'm going to tear your arm off. I'm going to tear your leg off. I'm going to shove it up your blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean. And the only thing funnier than that, I know wrestling, some people like it. I went to wrestling way back when I was a kid, and it was Jimmy Snuka, Cowboy Frankie Lean, and a bunch of Rowdy Rod Pipers and all those crews, but it was still entertainment, let's just put it. The only more entertaining than that, with a smile on my face, he got a smile on my face, is Mexican or Spanish wrestling. It is the ultimate. If you've never seen it, during this time off, go check it out, because there's nothing like it. That's all I can tell you. You're going to have to go look at it. The only thing that compares to that is something I'm not going to mention right now. I may mention it later, but it will get me in trouble. So here we go. We're going to go to Graham. Even though it's passed, he says something about if the bill hasn't passed in 48 hours, they should cut congressmen's payoff. I just thought we'd like to hear him say it. It's kind of cool. I mean, I'd like to cut their pay. Still.
This country.
Squiggly guy.
You feel confident, you know the president well, you talk to him a lot, that he will listen to their advice on this.
Yeah, I'm very confident he will, because this president has the best medical team around him. The vice president's done a wonderful job. And you're right, Mr. President, to want to turn back on the economy, but we got to do it smartly. And here's what I would suggest. Dr. Fauci said, based on the data, there may be regions that we can open up. There may be demographics, younger people may be able to go back to work without a lot of risk. But I would make my decisions based on my medical experts. The goal is to open up the economy, but it needs to be conditions-based. The number one decision the president made smartly was to stop travel from China early on. Only God knows how many people are alive today because he stopped travel from China. Don't undercut that decision by wanting to open up the economy too quick. It's got to be based on sound science.
Yeah. All right, let's turn to the bill on Capitol Hill, the Senate bill tonight. Where does it stand? Is it the right bill? I know obviously there's a lot of push to get it done, but it needs to be something that is effective. And what are the problems right now as you see it for tonight?
Well, it doesn't need to be the Green New Deal. This bill had a bunch of junk in it that was just a liberal wish list. I think most of it's out. Mitch McConnell said we're inside the 2-yard line, but here's the problem. There are 20 people playing defense. They're all kind of special interest groups trying to get a little bit more, trying to say no to this, no to that. Here's what I say. If we don't have a bill in the next 48 hours, every member and every staff person up here should lose their pay and their benefits until we pass a bill. Martha McSally has legislation to do that. If we don't have a bill in the next 48 hours, I'm going to go to the floor of the Senate and make a unanimous consent request to cut our pay and benefits off until we pass one. I am hopeful, but I've been hopeful for the last 48 hours. Pass the damn bill. People are out of work. They need a paycheck. The doctors and nurses are under siege. They need medical supplies. Small business has been put out of business. Let's put them back in business. Enough already. Pass the damn bill.
And with that, like I covered, they did pass the damn bill. And I already went into it enough times, guys, on the last video, and unhappy does not even cut it, guys. Sorry. I don't mean to be the old saddest person in the world. I want to look more at this earthquake real quick that we had. Boy, they didn't cover it very much, guys. Strange. Strange. Let's see if they got anything like right now. Some people are calling it 7.8. Here's some world trending news. I'm not sure if we covered. Oh, it's not sure if we've heard from these guys.
Welcome to World Trending News. I will share with you breaking news arriving from Russia. Russia earthquake, 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit of Kuril Island. Tsunami watch cancelled for Hawaii. Russia Kuril Island experienced an earthquake with a magnitude of 7.8 on Wednesday, according to the Meteorological Service.
So there's some great waves out there today. Russia just had...
Clarifying, I put my little sign up it's not so you guys send me money or anything, but sometimes certain things pop up in the corner. If we leave it, they won't let me show you guys. The other thing is, obviously, yeah, if you do want to send a card or a letter saying healthcare you're great or healthcare you sucks, feel free. Or like I said, a shirt and a hat after this catastrophe. Let's concentrate on you guys surviving this. But yeah, if you don't, sometimes in that one corner, certain things cut them up, and the AI catches it and they cut us. It's really weird.
At a 7.8 earthquake, so they're talking tsunami here in Hawaii. I did a little bit of research, and the last one took about 12 hours to reach here, but that was from Chile. So let's see what's in store for us today. Hoping everybody is staying safe and healthy with this COVID-19 out. Prayers, hugs, and kisses, everybody.
True.
Highly controversial military document containing detailed procedures for the potential evocation of martial law, which includes diplomatic steps to gain recognition for the move from the United States, was revealed on Monday. Our Easton J has more on what this explosive document contains.
Okay, we're going to just run with this, but we all know what martial law is. We've all talked about it, Team 99. We are seeing the first steps. Now, this is a leaked document. I haven't seen it nowhere else on any other YouTube channel. So when this video's over, feel free to share it, repost it. I don't care. I'm not going to come after you guys. With healthcare sucks, we don't do this to make money or to get famous. You know, it was like one of those favorite songs. Fame and fortune, fame and wait, it's not Christmas. I'm sorry, I got carried away. Here we go. This is Christmas, though, to get handed this. Let's see what it says.
South Korea's defense ministry submitted to the National Assembly's Defense Committee on Monday part of the document, which the Defense Security Command drew up early last year to delve into the possibility of invoking martial law to quell public protests if a court ruling over the fate of former President Park Geun-hye caused unrest. One of the steps mentioned in the document was to have the defense minister invite the U.S. ambassador to ensure his cooperation in seeking Washington's recognition of martial law. The document also called for the martial law commander to summon foreign military attachés to seek their support and efforts to restore social order. The document in question also called for controlling the media. It called for the submission of first newspaper editions, broadcasting scripts, periodicals, and other publications for censorship. Also, to address the possible spread of rumors, the document also contained a set of steps for shutting down internet portals and networking services that could be used for disseminating false accusations. The controversial document also includes steps to influence the National Assembly, such as a measure to prevent the legislature from calling a floor vote on a parliamentary motion for the lifting of the martial law. The case has drawn the ire of the public, as critics say the use of the military to handle public protests flies in the face of democratic principles, and it could mark another case of political interference by the military. However, some conservative groups argue the military is well within its rights to draw up such measures to prepare for any scenario that could compromise national security. The military and the prosecution are forming a joint investigation team to look into whether the document was in any way illegal.
Okay, I found something else I'm going to run with, and it's probably going to get me in trouble, but I'm going to run it for you guys anyway, because some of you don't know what it is. I'm not sure how much they're going to cover it, but it was an Operation Martial Law type thing called Jade Helmet. Yeah. List hostile U.S. states and all kinds of stuff. I know people got pulled for putting this. So, at risk, I'm going to run it, guys, because with the times we're in, as BP Earthwatch puts it, you know, we've all prepared for this time. And now's the time that we need to get out there and do our diligence and spread the word. So I'm spreading the word. After this, we'll jump to something else. But I do Want you to check this one out. Me too. I haven't watched it.
Unprecedented training exercise this summer called Operation Jade Helm 15 across 7 states. And with polls showing trust in the government near record lows, that exercise has some Americans feeling uneasy. Jennifer Wishon brings us that story.
Have you heard of this military special operations command exercise called Jade Helm?
Speculation about why the military wants to train in American communities instead of military bases is fueling a growing number of theories across the internet and social media.
The government will take action when it thinks its authority is threatened.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott has even asked his National Guard to monitor it. So what is Jade Helm 15? It's realistic military training taking place simultaneously in 7 states, from Southern California to Texas. Over 8 weeks, the nation's elite special forces will practice unconventional warfare by operating outside their normal support systems, adapting to new terrain, and working with civilians to gain their trust. When news of the operation broke, the phones inside Texas Congressman Louis Gohmert's office lit up.
At first, people were not sure what to think. Do we have to worry about martial law? Is our federal government coming in and going to practice imposing martial law on Texas?
A former Army captain, Gohmert says he understands the need for training, yet it bothers him that as part of the exercise, the military is labeling Texas, Utah, and Southern California as hostile.
This is actually taking areas of our home country, the United States, and saying Texas is hostile, Utah is hostile, Southern California is hostile, and we got to take it back from the hostiles. I find that incredibly offensive.
And he thinks it's no coincidence that the Jade Helm 15 map looks an awful lot like the 2012 political map. So-called hostile states are colored red. The suspicion surrounding Jade Helm 15 is fueled by the fact that a vast majority of Americans simply don't trust the government, a level of mistrust that has peaked under the Obama administration, driven by what many believe to be violations of the Constitution and civil liberties. This is what Americans understand war looks like, but Cheryl Chumley, author of Police State USA, says Jade Helm 15 is introducing a new type of warfare, the master of the human domain.
What's going to happen is the special operations soldiers are going to be dressed in civilian clothes, driving civilian vehicles, and they're going to be tasked with striking up rapport with the local citizens.
It's a new strategy to root out terrorists since locals notice odd behavior first. In Jade Helm, citizens are part of the exercise.
Watch out, because that guy that strikes up a conversation with you at the local 7-Eleven, is he a Jade Helm 15 participant? You know, it's a psychological warfare that it kind of messes with your mind a little bit.
White House spokesman Josh Earnest.
And I wanted to touch on this too, because if you think this isn't going on right now in this time and day, I guarantee you there's more agents out there all over the place checking out what's going on. While the CDC sat on their butts forever, I covered it, and didn't even get a hold of the hospitals to prepare for this thing that we're now in. I mean, I covered this like a month or two ago, guys. Over a month, let's just say. That I did interviews. The hospitals, different clinics, nobody had been contacted. We had Salem Hospital that had put the goo out, little masks and stuff, but didn't know what the hell they were doing. Watch it. It's kind of, cheap video, but it's reality. So with that, yeah, there is a lot going on. We're going to watch a couple more minutes of this. I think it bears the rest of the film.
Says special forces moving about communities will wear armbands.
I feel confident in expressing to you, without having a lot of detailed knowledge of the particular exercise, is that the civil liberties and constitutional rights of American citizens will be in no way affected by this exercise.
Despite conspiracy theories, Congressman Gohmert isn't worried that the U.S. military is going to issue martial law, but he's not happy with the president.
When my own commander-in-chief, through his subordinates, is just fine with, for games purposes, declaring an enemy of two or more of your states, I've got a real problem with that. That is one of the most insensitive, just outrageous things that a military commander could do.
Chumley urges Americans to always stay vigilant when it comes to the government.
What I love most about America is that our rights come from God, not government. And I think we need to hold fast to that principle, because once that's gone, then you just open the doors to more and more government encroachments.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News.
Along Sabina Street comes at a time when the courthouse that heard their cases in the first.
I seen something else I want to throw at you guys that I thought was quite interesting. We're just going to jump back. I'm going to pause it so I can catch something I seen. Oh, here we go.
Unprecedented training exercise this summer.
Wonder what's going on with all the tweakers and all this stuff.
It's been seen in 176 different countries and raised eyebrows from England to Everett. But now ratings for the YouTube sensation known as Tweaker Cam have dropped off considerably.
We have 1.5 million upset people. They want us to find entertainment for them. And we're just tickled to death that it's very boring.
Fed up with a homeless camp that's plagued his neighborhood for years, Gary Watts recently set up HD video cameras outside his Everett business. They captured grim images of people shooting up in broad daylight. Today, that very same street corner, dubbed Tweakerville, is a ghost town.
Can you imagine?
The reason I played that for you, and I think we all know, is the eyes are watching everywhere, guys. Everywhere. And, you know, we already know that the eye in the sky's up there watching everything, obviously. But I'm talking local. You ever drive down the road and you see all those cameras all over different poles? Or you're driving down the freeway and you're like, "This, what the hell's this camera doing out here in the middle of nowhere?" It is true, guys. Those the videos, the movies that they can watch, see, and everything. So, with that, I want to give Marfugel credit. Marfugel News TV. He covered something that I'd known about, but I want to give him the credit because he brought it. I seen it on the show. Is that they have ways now of actually separating heat signatures and things like that. And I happened to catch a show a few shows ago where he brought it up again. And so, like, if you're bugging out to the forest and stuff, and there's only like one human or 3 or 4 of your buddies, they're gonna know where you're at. Now, that most likely won't be a problem unless we see a hardcore lockdown, martial law situation that where they already are locking down our parks and recreations, camps, etc., because they don't want people going to those. I understand one side, I understand the other side. If you're in the city and it goes to hell, you're going to want to get out. Bottom line. Now, getting out and spreading it to the outer communities, not cool. But if you're going to go up into the hills and you got your shit together, excuse my French, why not? Let them go. You know, and if they end up making little camps out there and they can get along, let them do it. And I don't think you're going to be able to control that without a martial law. Let me put it to you like that. Right now, when I'm on the discussionary page of Healthcare Sucks, New York is like bleeding people all of a sudden out. And the worry is where they're going. Are they going to actually quarantine for 14? They're not going to quarantine for 14 days. And 14 days is BS. It's 30 days. Let's not forget that. Period. And it lives on surfaces. So everywhere along this journey out of town, and again, I don't plead. If I was there in the big city, I would be gone. I want to clarify that. If I was in a huge city, I'd be gone. Because huge cities are going to be next thing to a cruise ship that there is for We haven't seen anything yet, guys. When this starts going up those huge buildings in New York, and I don't mean this to scare you guys if you live there, because really most of you can't go. You don't have no money or anything. That's why I'm so PO'd over this stimulus, because if you are going to be trapped in those big buildings and stuff, $1,000, $1,200 and $500 a kid, up to like $3,500 per family, be huge. You could go get some supplies and some entertainment stuff. You could get ready to, get through this. But most of us live on check to check or less. And all the states, again, could waive all rents, which some have already waived, so you can't get evicted. Utilities are still dinking around. I think all utilities should be waived. Garbage, water, sewer, etc. I did get some notices on some different places. PG&E supposedly won't shut you down. We'll see. I plan to test it myself, guys. I'm not going to pay no bills till this is over for electric. That comes from Rothschilds. They can afford it. Locally, the water, we don't have sewer where I live. I live in the hills, so we got septic type things, so don't pay that. But we pay water. I'm going to call them on their bluff. They said they're going to work with us. It's called Panther Creek Water. We'll see. In the past, they've done nothing but jack up our payments and make really stupid moves on things we won't talk about right at the moment, but let's just say we'll see. Garbage through Lincoln County Trash, and we'll see what happens there. So with that, I urge you all, if you still are motivated to call before they do this vote tomorrow, raise hell on the phones and tell them, unless we're all for one and going to get it, then let's shut it all down. And with that, healthcare sucks. Over and out.